Hi everybody, welcome. This is the Cass Huff Psychic Medium Show, recording in Tacoma, Washington. For appointments, call 253-503-6816 and visit casshuff.com. Information is from Spirit and is from a spiritual medium and is for entertainment purposes only. This and all recordings and information I provide are copyright protected by law and the property of Cass Huff. Hi everybody, welcome. Today is February 26th, 2019, and hope you are all having a wonderful day today. Our numerology today is 22. If you take that down to the simplest number, it is a 4. So if you add 2 plus 26 plus 2019, you're going to come up with the number 22. And in numerology, it's going to give you the number 4. So today is a very foundational day. Today is the energy of fortitude and strength, the energy of holding on and pushing forward and continuing to build solid foundations for yourself. We're moving through the energy. We're still just slightly feeling the supermoon in Virgo on February 19th, 2019. And this brought us a really big wave of energy. As someone I know recently just said, it felt like you were being pulled apart in many directions. Well, what it's doing is offering you the vast, greater sense of so many opportunities and so many soulmates on this planet, so many relatives, and the understanding of the greater consciousness and the concept of the greater than self, feeling yourself in that humble place that there's so much more to what we can conceive in the moment. And so this is a really powerful full moon for experiencing the humble look at what needs to be derived of these relationships, of who you are, and feeling your secure relationships with all the people in your life right now. If somebody blew up in this last full moon, take a look at them again. What lesson are you learning? What are they teaching you just by being in your life? And what are you learning or teaching them just by being in your life? So today is a message. Today's message for the podcast show is, what are you engineered for? What are you wired for? What are you already inherently gifted at? This is such a, we tend to get very focused, creative ideas, business ideas, adventures, planning trips, doing things, inventing fun things, inventing lifescapes and new ideas, and we're in the Pisces vibration of dreamy wonderland, sometimes often dreamland vibration in this February month. And the message is to look again at what you are already doing over and over and over and over again in your life. No matter what else you do, no matter what else you're doing, what is it that you are naturally engineered to do? What did you come in wired for? Some people are natural counselors. They can work at any job or any place, but no matter what they do, underneath it all, they're a counselor. People come to them or want to tell them their problems or get some advice. Maybe you're a natural counselor. Are you a Mr. Fix-It? Are you engineered to fix things and consistently, take things that are broken apart and heal them with your hands, your mind, mechanics? What are you wired to do that you came in to do? Something you probably have done many past lives already that's so easy for you. May be simple to ignore that it's your greatest gift because it's so much a part of you. Well, today we're going to examine that. And what I would ask you to do is to actually start noticing what you do more often than not that other people recognize about you, not what you recognize about yourself. And the things we tend to think about ourselves or exaggerate about ourselves, our mental condition, are very different from the things often we're actually doing. And those are things that are proven to you because people will tell you, wow, you did a great job at that. Thank you so much for helping me with that, whatever it is you do. And over again, you're going to hear compliments. You're going to hear people showing you the mirror of your greatest gift. And I know a person right now I'm thinking of who has a regular 9 to 5, but whenever I see him on Facebook or he's always doing his guitar, he's always playing his guitar, talking about his guitar, showing us new musical ideas, sharing music. And one of his greatest gifts since I've known him is his ability to share the love of music. And it was the first thing he shared with me when we met. It's been true ever since I've known him. So his love of music, his love of the guitar has been consistent the entire time I've known him. And so, and he can actually play very well and is very gifted. So what are you engineered to do? What do your hands like to do? Is it easy for you to write? Is it easy for you to communicate? Are you engineered to author a book? Or are you engineered to cut people's hair or do something, wonderful? Driving is a gift. I know some people that are very gifted at driving, being able to see the road ahead, being able to make other people feel safe. And so today I was offering a reading for someone, and in the middle of the reading, I had a message come through from an animal. And one of the things that I've been told over and over again is thank you for communicating with my pet, or thank you so much for doing an animal communication for me. And it's never what I set out to do. In fact, it's not very, I don't advertise it too much. And I remember years ago when I was first coming out as a psychic and I went to work at the Crystal Voyage in Tacoma, and the owner there, her name's Crystal. She's now passed on. She's in heaven. And she had put me down as an animal communicator, which I did not do. It was some kind of a fluke that she put that on there. And for 2 days, I was doing animal communication readings. And I didn't know why people kept sitting down at my table and asking for me to read their cat or their dog. I had no idea what that was going on. And at the end of the second day, I asked why people were asking me. Someone said, well, you're an animal communicator, aren't you? Well, what was fun is that I would have never chosen that for myself. And I started communicating with animals when I was very young. And it's one of those things that you don't necessarily want to talk about. It took me many, many years to talk about my ability to communicate with the deceased and with the spirit world and with the angels and guides in heaven. And so coming out as someone who could talk to animals seemed even more hard to believe, or even more supernatural. It's truly the realm of telepathy and being able to read or communicate telepathically, because we can communicate with animals as long as we can access the conscious vibration to work with pictures, and animals communicate in pictures. I just happen to be clairvoyant. And so when I see an animal in my reading, or I get a vision of an animal, they actually start giving me pictures. and I will be able to communicate through symbols and pictures. And often they are not colored. They're very, it's not as vibrant. It's something very simple or very easy to read for me. And that is how, I don't know this for certain. I'm not a cat. I'm not a dog. But that is how I believe they communicate. That is how they communicate to me. And so I'll get messages through the form of a picture in my mind. And in fact, this is a wonderful way for us to communicate with animals. Is if you have an animal and you want to send them a message, how you communicate with them is to form a picture in your mind and send that picture to the animal, and they'll get the message. They may be shocked you know how to communicate with them, but if you start sending them pictures in your mind, it's like you visualize a picture in the frontal lobe of your mind, and then you imagine sending that picture from your mind into their mind. Obviously, they can choose to ignore the mail, but that's actually how animal communication is done from my point of view, or how I do it. And so I've been naturally wired or engineered to communicate with animals. And sometimes I even push this one gift off or ignore this gift, and it always comes back to me no matter what I do. And so the things that you are engineered for can be something like that is so simple, or like for me personally, I don't know how to quite articulate how I communicate that easily with animals, or how it is I cannot possibly fathom how it is that I can communicate. I was on asked to do a house clearing years ago, and I went out to this house, and the house used to be on a farm. Nobody told me that. It was a regular house in a regular yard. And I walked into the house and I said, well, I have a pig here who's in the spirit world who's talking to me. And they said, well, the house is on a pig farm. It used to be a pig farm. And I said, well, the pig is telling me a story. And so I started getting all these images downloaded to me. So what I learned on that day is that for me to communicate with an animal can be in the spirit world as well as in the physical realm, and they communicate the exact same way. So if the spirit of the animal is still present and hasn't crossed over, they can communicate to me the same way as if, and so again, that was a very unique experience for me, and how I was able to give messages to the owners was actually by communicating to the deceased animals on the land. And that brings me to another teaching. When we do clearing work, house clearing work, whenever people call me and they say, I want to know what these orbs are, I've come to understand that a lot of times the orbs and the different spirits can also be the animals on the land. Now, I'm not exactly sure why animals stay around. Most animals, as far as I know, will choose to, animals go to heaven, just like we go to heaven. So I don't know why an animal wouldn't go on. I know sometimes our beloved pets, our cats, our dogs, our closest parakeets, our loved animals that are our companions, they will stick around just like someone, if you have a family member that's passed away and they're what I call 1 foot here or 1 foot in heaven, they'll stick around for a while to take care of you or to be around you, or if you're just really, holding on to that relationship and having a hard time letting go. So I'm not sure the reason why animals stay behind, especially on a farm type situation, but there can be times where not only is your house haunted by people, but it could actually be haunted by animals. And so when you do your clearing work, if you clear your house, remember to send your pets and your animals into heaven. And no, there's no fear, because those who are meant to come back, who are contracted with your soul, who are your divine relatives, who are meant to come and visit you will come and visit you. There is no fear of that. And it's a wonderful knowing that people's animals come to them from heaven, come to them time and time again to offer the feeling of love and continued companionship in the realm of the soul communication. So, coming back to the question, what are you engineered for? I gave you a great example of one of the things I tried to avoid about myself, but it's absolutely true and unavoidable. And I love to do the work when I get in the moment, but I don't advertise it generally. It just seems to happen over and over and over again. And so the soul has no limit of what it's capable of bringing to you or showing you. And when we're talking about your natural engineering, we're also talking about your inherent gifts, your ability to pick up new information and make sense of it, your ability to translate what is new and bring it in. So what you need to continue to focus on your own gifts, what you need in order to stay open to what you're naturally engineered for, the teachings, the downloads, as we call it, will come to you time and time again and continue to offer you assistance so that you can continue to do what you are naturally engineered to do. And so it's wonderful how you will continue to get new ways to develop yourself. And it's usually through unexpected circumstances, opportunities brought to you from the divine, not something that you have yourself personally chosen to do, but more something that a higher power or your higher soul self knows that you need in order to stay open to yourself or your inherent gifts. The opportunities continue to flow to you, and they will always continue to flow to you for you to accept your true self and continue to expand. The soul has no limits on what it's capable of doing. It is absolutely, your higher soul self is connected to the greatest source energy, manifestation powers are available to you all the time. And the things that will bring you the most beauty are often the things that look like warts at first. You know, sometimes we go through our lessons and our challenges in order for us to experience greater growth and beauty in the long run, not beauty in the short run, true beauty grown from lessons and energetic teachings and turmoil sometimes in order for us to become more of a complete person. And so when that happens, in fact, when you become more of a feeling that you are receiving those lessons in a way that is, when you get the lesson, you become such a strong and inherently more beautiful, energetic being because you're developing the strength and you've learned that lesson and you carry that wisdom with you, that you begin to almost change energetically to other people. Have you ever met somebody that, you knew them 3 years ago and they walk through the door and the next time you see them, you don't recognize them at all? They're the same person, but something has definitely changed about them. Well, our personality is related to our mindset, the way we think and the social way we are developed and the way that we are told to fit in, so to speak. And so personality changes can occur when you actually release the personality that doesn't work with your greatest soul self, when the challenges have been met and overcome, when you no longer need to hold on to certain attitudes or beliefs. You can actually experience a bit of a personality change in the sense of a healing, where you're no longer so restricted in any certain way, where you're more open and more of a conduit for the divine. And so I wonder if we would call that less of a personality, more of a conduit. I don't know. There are certain things that are inherent to us, humor, joy, our experiences that bring us true delight, the things that are always inherent, that always bring us joy. For me, it's simple. It's seeing people laugh, enjoy each other, healing, health, continued, when people are getting what they want and it brings them happiness and I get to witness that, boy, does that make me happy too. Just seeing other people develop and become the person they want to become. What a joy to witness that and be in a place to witness. That's the treasure I feel in life. And so today, what I would just ask you to do is start noticing, paying attention to what your true gifts are. It might even make you frustrated for me to say that to you, because you might have to pay attention a little bit more to the one thing that you know you're darn good at, and then have to ask the question, what am I going to do about that? Is there something you need to do about that? Is there some direction you need to take with it? Could it be your full-time career? Could it be something that changes your life? Could it be something that changes other people's lives? Well, technically, it probably already is changing other people's lives, but just giving it a place in your life to allow the frequency of allowing yourself and your greatest gifts, owning them, honing them, and being at one, being at peace with it. It's a bit of what we're here to do on the planet, and we're all doing it together. Some people are great at being leaders and chiefs, and some people are great at being side cooks, prep cooks, and helpers. Some people are gifted at, all kinds of things. So what I would have you do is some meditations to actually identify what people are telling you that, the things that you know, or the things you are needing to see more for yourself. As we're in this creative year 2019, we're moving forward in 2019 in a time, March 2019 is going to be talking more to you about the higher commitment to your soul self. I see March as a time of needing to be more flexible. There's a need for people to make their travel is showing up with some changes. And so what I'm seeing as I look out into the next time frame, what I'm seeing is people needing to learn more flexibility. And you're going to do that by being more flexible with the human relationship. Figure out where there are things you just can't fix and move in the way of natural energy, natural law. We're getting some lessons about that early this year. 2019 has been a bit of an energy where we have to be more flexible, more energetically inclined to the higher teaching, more constructive. And if you get stuck in the why, you might lose the ability to move forward quickly and stay in the pleasant vibration of the new energies that are coming to serve you. And so this is a time also on the planet of breaking old patterns and old commitments and staying very frequently evolved. And so this is very important as we're coming into March of 2019, 9, 10, 11, 12. We've got a 3-year, and we're going to have a 3-month here in a couple of days. And so this is going to be a time of extremely, almost overwhelming creativity. You may have so many choices that you don't know what to do with yourself. Okay? So making those commitments that work best with you, and then saying, okay, you know what? I'm actually going to say yes to that, but I'll schedule that out, and I'm going to say yes to that other creative idea, and I'm going to get that done. And so you've got a lot of different creative opportunities coming for you right now. And being close to your heart and listening to your greatest gift and what you're engineered for is actually going to help you to choose the greatest choices. Do the things that are most important that will help you evolve to the highest and best self you can be. So the supermoon in Virgo that was on February 19th really helped us set us up for this very open, expansive, vast consciousness. And as we're moving forward, I believe March 6th is the next full moon. And so you're going to be able to feel more prepared in March. March is a time where you're going to mean business early in March. You're going to want to make decisions. You're going to want to feel that you have your finances in order. You're going to want to do things that actually make big gains for you early in March. And in fact, anybody who's involved in investments or Wall Street, that is going to be a great time for you. Those 2-week windows in early March to make some great investment choices for yourself financially. It's a wonderful time to set foot in new opportunities also. And I would tread just slightly lightly until about June. And then I see at that time you're going to have far more solid energy in the market in Wall Street around June. So right now it looks like good investments. Yes, June is where I see more solid growth in the business sector, and you're going to feel that that solid foundational energy in June of 2019. So I'm not a financial advisor. And I'm not a doctor. I don't diagnose, but that's what I see psychically. So, anyway, I just want to say thank you all for tuning in. I think that's all I had to say for today's podcast. I hope you're continuing to focus on health and health awareness for 2019. This is a time of continued we're learning so much on the planet about health, the medical medium, the keto diet, the clean diet, the ability to do short fasting. We're coming full circle with some amazing environmental changes and nutritional upgrades. And so if you haven't got on the bandwagon, I would investigate what feels good to you, where to start out. Anything that is robbing your body of mineral, of being able to absorb your nutrition, anything that's robbing your body is also robbing your consciousness. Okay? So think about that. If your body's absorbing toxic food or toxic energy, it's actually robbing you of that free, clear conduit that you are evolved and here to be. So continued focus on what interests you, on what makes you happy in the nutritional realm and environmental realm, and continuing to be involved in the greater consciousness on the universal level in your community. Get out, be involved. It's time to spread our wings and reach out and meet people across all lands and all waters and be there for each other and send out positive vibrations. So anyways, thank you all for tuning in. This is the end of my podcast. I hope you have a wonderful and blessed, happy rest of your Tuesday. Thank you. And to anybody out there who needs healing, may Creator heal you. Release all your pains. Send all your burdens off of your shoulders and continue to open you to new avenues of health, success, and healing. Thank you. Aho. Take care, everybody.